Our drive isn't working. We're stuck down.
Are you telling me it's not coming up?
It's not coming up. It's dead.
Well, let's look at it in the mill zone.
So here's what they're going to do. Typhoon has a problem. The drive won't come up. They're going into the milling circle, and while the boat is underway, they're going to try to fix it. But, Martin, what do they have to do to fix it?
Well, what the drive controls is the trim of the boat. And if the drive won't come up, that means he's not going to be able to trim the boat out to transition from the smooth water to the rough water. So they're going to go in there and check the switches. They got to check the solenoids. They got to check the trim pumps that affect that drive going up and down. If that drive doesn't go up and down, they're going to have a really rough day trying to catch B.J. Mayer.
Well, you can see now they are still very frustrated by what's happening to that boat. They had it all set up, brought it over here from the United States, shipped it over as all the boats were shipped. Now they're trying to get into the inner workings of the engine compartment and see if they can figure out what kind of a problem could it be. Is it hydraulics?
Well, it could be hydraulics. It could be electrical. There could be just a circuit breaker that popped from them holding the drive in the down position too long and overloading it. So there's a number of things that could happen. Right now they're hoping it's something simple.
Meanwhile, the orange smoke is gone. That means we have 3 minutes to the start of this race, and that is really going to put the pressure on the Typhoon crew.
Well, you know, we watched these guys start late in marathon also with a little bit of a problem, and they came back to life strong. I know they don't want to play with this thing. They are here to win a championship with only 3 points separating them and B.J. Mayer in the Team Activator boat.
Well, we could see that he signaled up and down with his hand, signaling that is the problem, the drive. So what happens if they can't fix it? Can they run?
They can run, but they're going to have a difficult time transitioning from smooth water to rough water, keeping the nose up or putting the nose down. It's going to be very hard to control that boat if it won't go up and down.
Oh, God, it's going to be a hairy ride.
Yeah. Thank God for big tails, but you know what? They got them covered.
Oh, God, it's way out.
We're back in Grand Bahama Island, the Bahamas. Dick Griffin along with Martin Sanborn. The Minister of Sports arrived moments ago by water taxi. He is standing by to kick off the races.
Hopefully, all of our guests that come here and join with local Bahamians to enjoy the sporting event will, at the end of the exercise, understand the goodness of sport and, more importantly, the goodness of life in the Bahamas. Having said that, I want to welcome you all again, and I want to say, gentlemen, start your engines.
All right. And they have started their engines.
We got to be real careful in the turn.
I hear you.
Typhoon has made a decision. They are going to race. The outdrive apparently is up. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Let's first talk about the class, Martin.
Factory 1 single-engine V-bottoms, 24 to 30 feet in length, all using spec engines and drives. And here's your current points leader, Typhoon Racing, only leading by 3 points over Team Activator and B.J. Mayer. This race course here in the Grand Bahamas is spectacular. Beautiful water, very difficult to read, a counterclockwise race course. Long straightaway on the backside is on the backside of a reef. This is where it's going to get rough. This left-hand turn right here is going to be the treacherous turn around the reef as they make their way back towards the beach and the start-finish line.
Here we go for the start, and there you can see the Factory 1 point standings. It is the battle between Typhoon at 652 points and Activator at 649. They are now waiting to start the boats. When they get them lined up, there's the green flag. We're underway.
Green.
Okay.
Randy Sluice is out there knowing that his boat has got a problem. And look at the bat boat.
Look at number 1, Realized Gain, absolutely getting airborne, coming down on its nose. Really had that boat trimmed out loose. This back straightaway is rough.
We can see now that their boats are trying to get the good water. They all have to go into the number 1 turn. No matter what class they're racing, they're all going to try to get to the inside. And right now, they're racing very even for class.
Is there a boat to my left? Nope. Thank you. You full throttle? Yep. Okay.
You're on board the Typhoon boat, and Martin, they have that drive problem. What's it doing for them?
Well, what he was explaining, with the drives trimmed out, he's got a problem getting the drive back in. Is going to be a real setup issue, but he was talking about controlling the boat with the tabs. He's got the long trim tabs on the back of it, so he's going to have to run a little bit more tab in the boat to get the boat around the turns. The problem is, when they can't set the boat back up to go around a turn, there's not as much boat in the water. Fortunately, this is a step-bottom boat, so they're going to have an advantage with the drives out rather than if they were stuck in. That would be a much bigger problem.
Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss fighting it all the way. It is going to be a long race for them. There you see your leader, B.J. Mayer, the owner and driver of the Activator boat, along with Mark Schnepp on the throttle, and they have got themselves a great ride going right now. I don't know if they are totally aware of the problem aboard Typhoon.
These guys are running their own race. I don't think they even care what's going on in the other boat. They just want to know where they are in relation to them on the race course, and right now they've got them by about 5 or 6 boat lengths, so they're running the race they want to run.
Activator is your lead boat. Second place in the class is the Typhoon racing boat with the problem in the drive. There you see your F1 leader. And as we said, they have a great run. They're now coming down on the front part of the course. That is the smoother part. We have several classes racing out here. You can see the one design boats as some of the F1s pass them up or as they challenge for the lead. But right now, Activator is unchallenged, and he is just enjoying the Bahamas.
He's got a beautiful ride, perfect attitude on that boat. You can see he's not running any tab. It looks like he's got the tabs up, but he also mentioned on the inside where it's smooth, that's where they expect to have a big challenge by Typhoon. They're very strong on the rough water, which is where this boat really shines.
They are still looking for Typhoon to make some sort of a challenge. But Typhoon is fighting that drive problem, and they have to watch the boat on the turns.
We gotta be so careful because we're gonna get crucified at turns. Roger.
Wow, these guys are gonna have to battle that boat from start to finish. Meanwhile, just a great, perfect ride for B.J. Mayer and Mark Schnepp leading in F1s.
You know what I love about racing in the Bahamas? Look at the shadow under that boat. That shadow is actually on the bottom, not on the water. Beautiful racing here in the Bahamas.
You're watching the Factory Ones deciding the championship. We'll be back in a moment. We're back in Grand Bahama Island, the Bahamas, the Grand Bahama Island APBA Offshore National Championships, presented by Mercury Racing, where the racing never stops. We're watching the battle between Activator and Typhoon. Activator, the defending national champ, leading the field by 3 points. Only 3 points to decide a national championship in this race. Right now, they have a good, clean run, and Typhoon, running in second place, is having problems.
Considering the problems these guys have, they're actually running very well.
Well, this is where they have the problem, on the turn, because the drive is out, and they have to compensate with the trims.
Well, at least the drives are on the out position rather than the in position. Much better on a step-bottom boat.
There you see Ben Hedrick and George Arima Jr. as they are piloting a boat called Deranged, which a lot of folks in offshore racing would say it's an appropriate name. They are leading in their class and trailing right behind him, now trying to catch him for the lead. In the performance for Outlaw Boats is Dr. Gerardo Santiago, the dentist from Naples, Florida. He is riding with the throttleman Enrique Ochoa, also a doctor of dentistry. He is from Miami, Florida.
You know, the name of that boat is Zero Cavity. What an appropriate name for the boat. And here comes our P2 class, Team Obsession. They are running in the lead right now.
They are being challenged by BigOaksOffshore.com. There you see Big Oaks coming into your screen in the center now. John Giovanetti and John Hyland. John Giovanetti is actually driving and throttling, and Martin, that's got to be tough in a lot of these races. Fortunately for him today, it's kind of smooth water.
Well, in smoother water, it's a little easier to drive and throttle yourself. As we look at our leader, Team Obsession, we've got a classic battle going on here between two big heavyweights in offshore powerboat manufacturing. That is at 37 outer limits, being chased down by a 42-foot fountain.
Well, that's part of what boat racing is all about. It's not only the drivers and owners, it is also the boat manufacturers. You can see Activator, they got time to wave in the helicopter. They're very comfortable. B.J. Mayer and Mark Schnepp out in the lead in F1, defending national champions. If they win today, they will win the national championship again, second year in a row. and they seem very comfortable with their ride right now. If they have radios in there with the shoreline, perhaps they've gotten the word that Typhoon has a drive problem, although Typhoon is still riding in the pack in second place.
You know, this is a big deal for Mark Schnepp also. He's the owner of Activator Powerboats, and it's a big deal for him to have two championships back-to-back. But look at Typhoon Racing. They have maintained a great distance. They are right on the hip of Activator.
Let's pass them on the outside.
Well, there's the challenge being issued. They're trying to come up on the outside, and they have done it. They've come up on the outside. Now remember, they were talking earlier in the boat about how they were going to have problems in the turn, and now they are on the outside on a straightaway trying to capture first place and take it away from Activator.
You know, being on the outside of the turn, they don't have to turn as sharp, which is a good position for them.
Good boy. Good boy.
They're happy with it.
Waving over, giving them the little sign as they go by. It looks like they're making a move on the outside. Fortunately, with the drive in the opposition, that allows the transmitter boat to drive in and carve a good turn. It looks like they have indeed moved ahead of Team Activator.
Well, we have got ourselves a race despite some problems with Typhoon Racing. They had the drive stuck in the out position, but they have now overcome that problem. They've gotten a feel for the boat in a couple of laps, and they have now not only challenged for the lead, they have taken it away. You can see Activator, the green boat, now in second place. Activator's trying to hang on the inside. I think they know that Typhoon has got to go a little bit wider on the turns, and they try to stay very tight to see if they can get him inside.
Good move by B.J. Mayer. He dove to the inside. Oh, but he actually picked up a better line. Glenn Murray, Randy Schluss, they went too sharp, went around the turn, missed the second point of the turn. That's lost a lot of ground. That allowed B.J. Mayer to catch up.
There you can see it. The two boats are side by side as they battle it out. Closest to you is the Activator boat, the defending national champion, and all of a sudden you can see Typhoon trying to pick up speed on the inside. But right now, Typhoon is still managing to hold the lead. They had to take the turn a little bit tighter than they wanted, but it forced B.J. Mayer to go inside.
There you saw B.J. Mayer dive to the inside. He's trying to make up some ground, but those guys are able to carry a little more speed. Well, that'll teach you to taunt as you go by. Make a little mistake, you lost some ground. They had a much bigger advantage going into that turn.
And they're very fortunate right now to be in the lead, because you can see B.J. Mayer off to the right of your screen. That's the green boat. That is the defending national champion, and see the division right there between them, about 4 boat lengths at maximum. B.J. Mayer trying to hold that inside line, see if he can gather in that boat, the lead boat, as they go into each of the turns. If he knows that that drive is a problem and they're fighting the turns, then he knows he has possibly an advantage. And look at him come up now. Speed-wise, he's closing them down. They're going to be side by side. Right on the other side of the helicopter, B.J. Mayer has closed them down. They are deck to deck. They're going to be nose to nose in a moment. Typhoon Racing now knows they've got that proverbial tiger by the tail, and they have got to try to hold on.
Right now, B.J. Mayer was talking about the back stretch was going to be his stretch, the rougher water. Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss right now trying to hold him off. They're on the outside. They can slam the door on him when they get to the turn at the end of the reef.
B.J. Mayer just holding right in there. He's not giving him any quarter at all. Just barely enough to go through. Now B.J. takes a little bit of a flight, but holds the boat, brings it down flat, and that's what's most important. He has not moved it. He's still holding about 4 boat lengths off of Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss in Typhoon. Remember, the green boat, Activator, is the defending national champ. The winner of this race will be the national champion, because only 3 points separate these boats that are now separated by 4 boat lengths. Wow, what a race this is. And there goes B.J. Mayer to the outside now, forced out there by an apex run by the lead boat. The lead boat, of course, is Typhoon. Activator second, back with more in a moment. Island, a good opportunity to say thanks to all the fine folks here in the Bahamas. They have had tremendous hospitality. All of the racers and their families have been enjoying a tremendous weekend of racing, being highlighted by this race in F1 right at the moment. Activator riding in second place to Typhoon Racing. Now remember, Typhoon Racing leads Activator in the national points by only 3 points. So that means the winner of this race is going to be the national champ. Let's go on board Typhoon.
As we do, we can see B.J. Mayer again on the inside trying to work his way across. Those guys know exactly where they are. You know, it's gorgeous running in this kind of water, but it's very difficult to read because the water is so clear. Again, look at the shadow of the Typhoon boat. That's actually running on the bottom. It's not even touching the water, the shadow, so it's very difficult to read this water. Fortunately, very smooth on this front straightaway.
And Activator, as you can see, is trying to take advantage of that smoother water, although they would prefer it roughed up a little bit. And right now they're starting to take the lead away from Typhoon. Typhoon Racing now going back into second place. What they're trying to do is get to the turn and force them to stay way to the outside. B.J. Mayer has made his move. He's taken the lead back in the factory ones. Now Typhoon Racing is trying to find a little extra speed, see if he can even it up. What a battle we've got this far in.
Look at them taunting each other as they go by. What a battle. These guys are just showmen. They're having a good time out there. One thing, Typhoon got to carry a little bit more speed on the outside. You saw Activator slow down a little bit when he went around the turn. He scrubbed some speed off. Typhoon was able to gain the lead again. These guys are battling back and forth. Right now, Typhoon in the lead.
And you got to realize we're over halfway through this race at this point. So for that many miles to be under those hulls and to still have competition like this is just unbelievable. The national championship is on the line. It will be decided here. And look how far out Typhoon Racing went on that turn.
Well, apparently they didn't want to make the same mistake they made last time at this turn, going way to the inside, but they carried a lot of speed. But B.J. Mayer took the short line around the race course. B.J. Mayer and Mark Schneff doing very well in their Activator, but they are now chasing down Team Typhoon.
Typhoon starts catching a little bit of air as they get back on the back stretch a little bit. They head out there, the change of water, and you can see him bouncing around a little bit. We haven't really commented on it. Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss giving us a good look at it, Martin. These guys do take a beating even if the water looks smooth.
Well, you're really taking a beating in these kind of boats because these guys are sitting down, so they're getting pounded. You can see them jostling around. They've now moved to the back straightaway where it is rougher, so they're taking much more of a beating. But what a great battle now. Activators moved up within a boat length of Typhoon Racing as they battle down the back straightaway.
This is unbelievable. Now these racers, one thing we have to comment on, they know each other well. Not only are they friends on land and competitors on sea, but they know what they can expect. Now, you can bet B.J. Mayer wouldn't be going to the inside of Typhoon Racing if he didn't know those guys could hold on to that boat.
You know, Dick, you were talking about knowing what those guys are doing. It's critical when they go into a turn to know that the guy on the inside or the outside of you can control the boat and how the boat handles, so he's not going to spin out in front of you or spin out across you. He's got to know that they can hold that line. But right now, Typhoon Racing is doing well on that back straightaway, which should have been the Activator's strong leg.
And you can see how the water kind of messed up, and as a result, B.J. Mayer has now moved to the outside, trying to find some cleaner water and trying to find some speed.
Team Activator was able to carry a little bit more speed, and he's carrying it on the front straightaway as they head towards the beach. He's making up ground on Team Typhoon. He's going to dive back to the inside right now, it looks like, as he comes right across. Nope, he's not going to go all the way across. He's coming right to the inside, keeping clean water as they head towards the start-finish line.
Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss are aboard that boat, and they are doing just one great job. They're both out of New Jersey. Glenn Murray is out of Bridgewater and Randy Schluss out of Edison, New Jersey. And look at this battle now as Activator has closed down Typhoon Racing. Activator on the outside, the green boat, the white boat on the inside is Typhoon Racing. And remember, Typhoon Racing leads in national points by only 3.
Boy, my hat's off to Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss. Those guys are handling that boat very well, considering they don't have control of the drives. They're at a tremendous disadvantage, but look at Activator. These guys are deck to deck. What a battle. You know, I spent some time talking to Randy Schluss before the race, and they were kind of teasing me. His wife was teasing me about calling him cocky, but you know, it isn't cocky when you do it, and look at them out there doing it, moving back into the lead.
We got to get them on the straightaways because they're going to kill us in the back.
I hear you.
Well, you heard their strategy there, and if they're going to make the move, it's going to have to be on the straightaway, according to those on board the boat. But now you can see Typhoon is trying to open up a little bit of a lead, so they have a little pad room as they go onto the back stretch, and you can see by pushing the boat as they are, they're starting to catch a little air, and there goes BJ. We'll be back in a moment.
I've been driving all night, my hands wet on
going on the course. There you see Activator in second place to the Typhoon. Typhoon, the white boat, catch an air.
There's the disadvantage of not being able to control your trim angle. If he's got too much positive trim, it really makes it tough when the boat gets into rougher water. He's carrying a lot of nose, and the boats are getting lighter on fuel, which also gives it more of a tendency to want to fly the nose. This is where BJ Mayer is shining. His boat runs well in rough water anyway, and he's making up distance on the back straights.
We're on board the Typhoon boat. That's Glenn Murray and Randy Schluss out of New Jersey piloting that boat, trying to capture a national championship. They have a 3-point lead and about a half a nose lead on Activator as they are in this race at the moment.
Yeah, but Activator now has moved up. He's actually in the position I like going into a turn. He can easily dive across and carry a much better line. It's a real aggressive move, but he can do it. But he's moving into the lead right now. BJ Mayer, Mark Schnepp, they now have about a half a nose on Team Typhoon.
Activator is BJ Mayer and Mark Schnepp. They're out of Boothwyn, Pennsylvania and Coram, New York, respectively. We're on board Typhoon again, and you can see these guys are very focused on what's ahead. They caught a little bit of air there. You can see them kind of bounce out of the seats. And right now, Activator is trying to take control. They're not going to be able to do it. The inside line is going to have the advantage coming out, and they have at least evened it up, and there they are going a little bit into the lead, but not by much.
Not by much at all. Team Typhoon carrying a great line. Oh boy, he's getting some big air, carrying the boat on the tail, but that's what he was talking about at the beginning of the race. He's going to have a tough time in turns because he doesn't have as much control of his trim angles. Activator's now moved into the lead as they're heading towards the beach and the start-finish line. But look at Team Typhoon on the inside. They carry a lot of speed. The boat accelerates so well. They've now moved back into the lead again. Back and forth battle between Activator and Typhoon.
And remember, these guys have been racing many miles at this point.
Yes, we do. We got to keep the inside. We can't give it up.
Just be careful of those turns.
I am.
There's their strategy. They got to keep the inside, but again, the turns are playing very heavily on their mind. At this point, strategy to that point of saying, you know, watch out on the turns, but it seems like it's all throttles as far forward as you can get them, and it doesn't matter which boat you're in.
Well, that's just the way it is in factory class racing. Heck, that's the way it is in any kind of racing, especially when you get into the smooth water conditions. These guys just put the hammers down and go. Team Typhoon is picking a good line. Even though they don't have as much control of the trim, they're doing a great job running the boat. They've moved to the outside. They're holding off BJ Mayer. That is a tough boat to hold off, and they're doing a fine job of it right now.
And mentally knowing that they have that drive problem, do you think they have the confidence at this point that they've overcome it, but they have the feel for the boat?
Maybe outside.
Well, on the back straightaways is where they're, whoa, big, tough twist. They hit a wave, and the boat came up and corkscrewed.
Let's take a look at that again, see if we can see what happened. Ooh, that water was coming up on that side very fast.
Oh, that's... In an extreme case, you could consider that a chine walk, but that is the kind of thing that shoots people out of boats as we go back on board Team Typhoon Racing.
Now, that's the kind of mistake that is costly in any race, because when you're riding side by side, just a split second makes all the difference. And right now, Activator has moved back up into first place. Now we'll see some strategy come in as they try to hold off Typhoon, and it looks like they're trying to force Typhoon to go through the wake and go to the outside.
Well, you know, we watched that on the last turn where Activator was forced to go to the outside as Team Typhoon just absolutely clipped that buoy off. Well, I think we're going to see Mark Schnepp and BJ Mayer do exactly that as they go into this turn. They're going to hug the buoy tight. They're going to steal the inside line.
And they're coming down for the checkered flag right now. Activator is going to try to hold on to it. He's going extremely wide on the turn to keep the speed up. Typhoon Racing on the inside, still bouncing a little bit in the water. There's the checkered flag, dead ahead of them. Activator, BJ Mayer, and Mark Schnepp coming down now. They see that checkered flag out there. They have fought tooth and nail to get this win, and it looks like they're going to take it clean. There you see the difference between first and second place. The lead boat, the green boat, Activator, and the second place boat to the left of your screen is Typhoon Racing. There's the celebration as they get the checkered flag waved ahead of them. BJ Mayer and Mark Schnepp repeating as national champions. They get to keep the #1 designation, F1-1, national champions for 2002. They carry that number into 2003.
I can't wait to talk to these guys after the race and see what BJ has to say now.
He said before he would do his talking after the race was over, and he said it with a bunch of checkered flags lined up that are painted on his hull as he was speaking, you could see he has taken a lot of races this year. This is one more for B.J. Mayer, the owner of the boat, and also the driver, and of course the throttleman on it, Mark Schnapp. They did a great job, and I have to give a lot of credit also to Typhoon Racing. They had the drive problem. They still were neck and neck into the final lap of this race.